Welcome to the Tourism Skillshop, hosted by State of Washington Tourism, SWT. My name is Matthew Ozuna, and I am the Destination Development Manager at SWT. I am broadcasting live from the east side of the state in Walla Walla today. Please utilize the chat, say hello, let us know where you're zooming in from today, and feel free to share your comments in the chat and use the Q&A feature as well. I'll monitor both, and I will address questions near the end of the webinar. So I'm going to give a little bit of background on the Tourism Skillshop before we dive in to this webinar today. The Tourism Skillshop is one of many industry educational programs from State of Washington Tourism. This webinar series, it's an entire series. You can see our recordings on our YouTube channel. We'll engage with colleagues from across the tourism sector and broaden their industry knowledge, skills, and network. Each webinar will highlight a specific issue or skill for tourism professionals to ponder and discuss with industry experts. State of Washington Tourism will host live webinars of the Tourism Skillshop on the third or fourth Thursday of every month from 10 to 11 a.m. These webinars will be recorded and shared with registrants afterwards. If you can't attend the live broadcasting, don't worry. If you sign up a few days later, you'll get the recording sent directly to your inbox. For Tourism Skillshop and other industry updates, visit the SWT website, sign up for the Industry Update newsletter, and follow SWT on LinkedIn. Tourism stakeholders may also join the SWT Facebook group for further discussion on topics related to the Tourism Skillshop and other industry news, issues, and events. Now, let's focus on today's webinar. This webinar in the Tourism Skillshop will feature the TREAD Map app, the ultimate trail mapping, maintenance, and community app for State of Washington. The app is being produced by the State of Washington Tourism in partnership with Dharma Maps, a Methow Valley app developer, and TREAD, an outdoor recreation coalition based in Wenatchee, Washington. The app offers up-to-date recreation maps, trail conditions, safety alerts, fire information, which we'll talk about today, community events, and volunteer opportunities. It also helps divert traffic from well-loved trails to lesser-known options to help with overcrowding. Through the app, outdoor enthusiasts can receive real-time information on all types of recreation from land managers, from outdoor user groups, tribes, and other users to aid in trip planning. To learn more about the app and to utilize all of its features, we're joined by Mat Lyons today, the Executive Director of TREAD, Graig, Project Manager at TREAD and Dharma Maps, Marc Rothmeyer, CEO of Dharma Maps, and SWT's very own Mike Moe, Director of Strategic Partnerships and Tourism Development. Mike, panelists, thank you for being here, and I'll turn it over to you, Mike.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being with us today. We really appreciate it. Matthew, do you mind looking into the chat? There's this issue that we're having. Everybody's saying that they can't use the chat; they can only use the Q&A. So that's fine, and no problem if everybody wants to post in the Q&A, which is just fine. Well, thank you again, Mat Lyons. Do you want to start the presentation there, and we'll get underway. So first, I know many of you have probably heard the story a few times, but I think maybe there are some new folks to TREAD on the call. So I want to introduce to you how we were introduced to the TREAD Map app. A couple of years ago in February, my wife and I were up trying to snowshoe up near Snoqualmie Pass, and we ended up having a really horrible experience because we got stuck in a snow park for over 4 hours because there's so much snow. It became a one-way street, and there's no way to get out. We were trying to direct cars, and it was just awful. And at the time, I thought, boy, I wish that I would have known that this parking lot was full. And later, I learned that had I known just another 10 minutes down the road in Easton, there would have been a much better experience for our day that when we were snowshoeing. And just so happened the next week, we're doing a destination development workshop in the Chelan area, and we came across Mat Lyons, who talked about his organization, which is TREAD, and their partnership with Dharma Maps, which is a web developer, or an app developer, to create an app for trails that gives you real-time information and allows land managers to let people know, hey, Every weekend from June through October, this trailhead is going to be full, and so here are some alternate routes, and so it helps with dispersal. And I thought it was, boy, that's just what we need for the entire state. And so we became interested in talking to TREAD and Dharma about taking this statewide, and that's what we've done. We've launched this app in July here, and it is ready to go. So today, we really want to give you show you what you can expect when you're using the app, all the cool features we have on today, not only Mat Lyons, but Brian Graig, who's a project manager, and Mark, who's our web developer. And now that we're in the midst of summer, we are actually getting some fires, and he's going to show you how you can find out, where those fires are, and the air quality, and just gives you a much better sense of knowing before you go out into the outdoors. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Mat Lyons, who will give you a deeper preview of the app there.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's nice to see some friendly faces in the participants list. And for those of you that haven't seen this before, this is how the app is designed to work on a global scale at a 30,000-foot view. Visitors download the TREAD map, and they learn about local assets from locals, local land managers, local influencers, local community members in that area. We pump this thing full of messaging and education to recreate responsibly, tread lightly, leave no trace, trying to encourage our new users that are new to the outdoors on how to go outside and recreate responsibly. We also encourage people to eat and sleep locally while they're visiting, to get that economic development money to stay in the towns that they're visiting. Eventually, the app will generate revenue, which we will put into a statewide fund. That fund then gets divvied out to local communities so they can do improvements. Maybe it's we need a bigger parking lot, or we would like a toilet or something like that. So we're really trying to invest in local organizations and trail improvements and have people do the right thing. We always get asked, why another app? Aren't there too many apps out there? What's different? And I love that question now because it's pretty clear that we're very different. So many of the other apps are single sport specific. So if I'm a mountain biker, I probably use Trail Forks. And if I'm a hiker, I probably use All Trails. What we've designed this to be is a community of outdoor recreationists, regardless of what you do. So if we're all in one space, we're all learning from each other. We're all able to help each other, learn about what other groups are doing for volunteerism, things like that. And more importantly, we have all land managers in one space too. So you don't have to anymore try to figure out which land manager manages that campground where I'm trying to travel to, find their website. Their website's probably out of date anyway. We put every group into one spot, every land manager in one spot. The other thing that separates us is our app is free and always will be free. We're nonprofit, we're not for profit. Other apps charge you a subscription fee. And then kind of don't really give back. And also don't really care about the public land that they're sending people to. So in other apps, what you'll see is I can go out, I can turn on an app, I can record my route, I can upload it to the rest of the world, and people will follow me. I might be going across private property. I might be going through culturally sensitive areas. I might be damaging. We allow land managers to send the message and locals to send the message so that we can educate people and avoid that. So that's really what separates us. And then, as you'll see in this, the features that we have built are amazing. Real-time information on the spot while everyone's out there letting people know in real time what's going on. So let's dive into that. The way we do that is through partnerships. As you can see here, people are buying into this idea. We get a new partner almost every single week. This slide is going to have to be 3 slides. And it's because it's for good. It's for the good of all. It's for the good of public lands. It's for the right reasons. And so that's why you see all these partners coming in, and we're able to leverage those partnerships to get better and better information into the app. We're going to show you a quick video of what you can experience while using the app.
Let's explore the new TREAD Map app. On my screen, we are looking at the state of Washington. I have my quick filters on the top of the screen, these buttons right here that I can move side to side. I have a tile ribbon on the bottom of the screen. I can swipe from left to right on those. Over here I have a couple useful buttons that I can hide away as well. I have the zoom to my location, and then I can go back to state view. The most prominent features you might see on the map are these red triangles with red exclamation points in the middle. Those are our alerts. So those are very important messages coming from land managers and other approved admin that are on TREAD control. We can turn those on and off by tapping the quick filter button on the top. As I tap it away, it goes black, and then those posts are removed from the map. If I want to see the location of an alert, I can long press on the alert and it'll zoom to the location on the map. If I want to get more information than just that preview, I can just tap the alert and it'll bring me to TREAD Talk, which is the full screen view of all these posts. Let's turn alerts off and look at user posts. You can scroll through. I found one here from Lindsay Johnston. The road to Stewart Lake Trailhead is open. Okay, let's take a look at where Stewart Lake Trailhead is. So I just tap my map button and it flies me over to the location of the post. And I see Stewart and Kolchak Lake right there. See that trailhead? I can also pan around the map and click on trails. So there we have Kolchak Lake. Kolchak Lake is a very crowded, very popular trail. So it has this trail crowding warning here. I'll show you another example of that as well in a different location in the state. The basic structure right now for trails is that we have our trail name, distance, allowed use, and if there are allowed dogs or not. And then we have a rating on the right-hand side over there, and then our description. And over time, we'll add more information to these as we engage more partners around the state. I'm going to go back to the map. And let's look at the trailhead again. If you see that little arrow on the upper left-hand side of the tile, I can tap that and it'll give me directions within the app from my location to that trailhead. It'll give me directions via driving a car, riding a bike, or walking. So I can walk 12 hours to go hike 8 miles at Stewart Lake Trailhead. And then if you're in Seattle, you can turn on and off the ferry feature so that it knows if it should include ferry trips in your travel time. Okay, let's look at some other proprietary features we built into the app. I'm going to search Lena Lake, Olympic Peninsula. So it flies me over to the location. I can see it on the map. I'm going to tap the ribbon tile, and I have this trail crowding warning again. So let's see what's going on. This trail can be extremely busy, and there are some alternative trails that are suggested for visitors to take instead. And if we want to view these on the map, I can just long press, and it'll fly me over to the location of the alternative trail. There we have Elk Lakes, a great alternative trail to Lena Lakes. And I'm going to long press on Living Legacy Trail, and it takes me over to that trail loop right there. So that makes it very easy for visitors from outside the area to understand where these alternative trails are without having to do too much research. And then if I wanted to see the detail, I would just tap on it and then I'd get that full screen detail, just like I showed you earlier. Okay, let's search another popular trail, Wonderland Trail, Mount Rainier National Park. I'm going to go to the map view, see what's going on. I'm going to turn on my alerts here. So let's say I was planning a trip over to this location, and I wanted to see what kind of issues were potentially over there that I should know about. So there's an alert icon right there. This was posted originally by Mount Rainier National Park. It's the verified Paradise Snow Report for June 10th, and it was reposted here by Outdoor Recreation Updates. So they have a ton of snow, so that's something a visitor really needs to know before they come to this location. Even though there's a lot of snow in the mountains right now, fire season is quickly approaching. So I want to show you what we built for fire season. We built this library of themes and layers in the app. And one of those themes is the fire theme. So I'm going to turn that on and hit apply. Let's go to the state view so you can really see what's going on. So with that fire theme turned on, it cuts out all the other posts other than posts that are directly related to fire. So right now there are only 3 alerts in there related to fire. Fire season hasn't really started yet. These are all about prescribed burns around the state. So during fire season, if there is a lot of fire activity, this is going to be very helpful because it's going to sort through all of the posts in the app and pick out the fire information and display that on the map, and also in this full screen view with more detail. Hopefully this will alleviate some confusion about what trails are closed and what's going on with fires, because additionally, we'll have fire perimeter overlays on the map that will help illustrate where fires are occurring throughout the state and how that affects trail closures. We'll have air quality data displayed on the map to help inform trail users about smoky conditions and where they might want to go instead. So I'm going to turn off the fire theme. I'm going to turn off alert so you know what I'm doing there. So let's say that one of these posts, I'll choose this post right here, was something unrelated to the community guidelines and the goal of this app. Now, I will say we do have an AI system that will pre-filter any posts that we don't want on the app ahead of time. But if something does slip through, like somebody's trying to sell a car or something just unrelated to the app, I can simply go in here, I can read my community guidelines, I can report the post. So let's say it's unrelated to outdoor recreation, I could submit, and it's going to remove that post immediately. And then on the back end, that post can be reviewed. We can take further steps if needed to remove that user from the app. We can also monitor if somebody is reporting too many posts. Recently, we also improved our display of campgrounds and beaches. So let's go over to Larrabee State Park in Bellingham and take a look at the map. Here's Larrabee Campground at Larrabee State Park, just south of Bellingham. We have a couple photos, we have a description, and we have a link to a website for camping reservations. We can also look at beaches and take a look at a description and also have a link to the land manager for that beach. So that is what we are doing with points of interest on the map. And our partners across the state can add any information they want once they're an approved admin on our TREAD control panel. Just like trails and trailheads, descriptions and photos are all editable once you are approved. I'll turn on sponsors, and then let's find, okay, we have Icicle Brewing here. Icicle Brewing is in Leavenworth, and they support local trails in Leavenworth. They host events, and they donate to local trail maintenance organizations like Evergreen. So an app user, a tourist, visitor to the area can read about Icicle Brewing. They can read their trail story and see how Icicle Brewing contributes to the local community. This will encourage visitors to go spend their dollars at Icicle Brewing and bring sustainable recreation full circle.
So the app does a lot, and it's hard to get it all into one quick webinar, and we're in video. But luckily, we have some more demonstrations for you before this session ends. One thing I want to point out is that we're in a really exciting time right now from the app development side of the house, and we are onboarding every day. So we're onboarding land managers and partners and tribes, you name it. And that only makes this better, because as you get onboarded into the app and become an admin, you get to control the messaging from your area in the area that you have authority over. And it's just making this better and better every single day. Better pictures, better descriptions, better real-time information. The fire stuff is really important, and it's starting now. The video you just saw was a little bit old, a couple months ago, but we're in it now. We have our first fire here over in Central Washington. And what's great about that is, as we overlay the fire boundaries onto the app, with one click of a button, we can then turn off every road, trail, trailhead, campground, so that you as a user don't have to go find out who's managing this, what's open or closed. If you search for it, it'll tell you it's closed, it'll tell you why, and you'll understand. So that's pretty unique to this app. Also, you know, with this TREAD Talk feature, we've basically taken the good part of social media and we're using it for good, right? There's all kinds of reasons why social media can be a problem, but we've harnessed the good part. So you can record a video and it lets people know more information in that real time. So what I'll show you is this video on the right-hand side. In other apps, when you click on a trailhead, you'll get a basic trailhead description. You might get driving directions, and that's about it. We allow land managers and our administrators to do this.
We have a lot of popular hikes and destinations in the area, and our trailheads fill up really fast. If you arrive and the parking lot is full, that probably means that the trailhead facilities are at capacity, and also the lake or lookout, whatever destination you're heading to, is as well. That can result in resource damage and negative social impacts. So we ask that you please have a Plan B hike. And if you arrive and it's full, please proceed to your Plan B instead. Thanks.
So instead of just basic trailhead information, we can educate as well. And then with the feature that allows for dispersals, we can say, this is popular, you ended here, why don't you try this, this, or this, have a better experience. And then we have our TREAD Talk feature. So this is exciting. You can post trip reports here, talk about your day. So like when Mike was talking about his snowshoeing adventure, he could post that and say, hey, it wasn't that great of a day, you know, or he could have a really good day and post that, and other people will want to follow or not follow based on that information. And then what's really cool is this is like the Waze for outdoor rec. So, you know, the Waze app lets you know that there's debris in the road and there's a cop on the corner and things like that, because people in front of us are reporting that and we get to see what they're reporting in real time. We have that now for this app. So I can go on a hike. I can take Marc on a hike, we're out and we come across a tree that's down. I can take a picture of it. The app knows exactly where I am. It uploads to the rest of the world and everybody knows there's a tree down and they can expect that, or a bridge is out, or the parking lot is full. So in real time, as we're all recreating every day, we're letting everybody know what's happening in real time. And maybe more importantly, land managers get that information as well. So if I'm a land manager, I know how big that tree is, exactly where it is, how big of a saw I need to go clear it. So it just has this great social impact. So we'll all have a better experience in the outdoors.
Real quick,
Sure.
stop for questions there. There is a fire right now that's active, and somebody asked if they didn't see the fire on the app. Marc, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, the current flyers load through an API, and that information is downloaded every morning at 5 a.m. And whatever gets posted to NCWeb, we're pulling in, and those are plotting out on the map. Yep, and
So that fire should be on it's on my app this morning. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, the Stamen fire is showing up now. So yeah, and through August we'll see more, unfortunately.
Do they need to kind of reload the app?
Refresh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll need to refresh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we should show them how to refresh then.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, so let's jump into the
There's somebody who asked about the functionality that remains when the user is outside self-service. Kind of what you were just talking about. So I thought.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So like any other app, if you're going to a place that's outside of cell phone range, you have to have it on and downloaded before you go. And once you're out there, it knows where you are. And so even if I come across a tree that's down in the middle of nowhere, I take the picture, I send a location, you'll get a little message that says, thank you for this. We'll upload it as soon as you get back into cell phone range. As soon as I get back near my car, the world will know exactly what's happening. Okay, Ryan, do you want to show everybody how quick and easy it is to use the backend?
Yeah, I'll just share my screen here. Can you stop sharing that? And then, yep. Cool. Okay, so on my screen, I have TREAD Control, which is a dashboard that is only for trained and approved admin that have been invited, our partners who have been working with us. And on TREAD Control, they have access to some really cool features that basically act as the method to control what displays on the app. So that's everything from TREAD Talk posts to editing map data like trails and trailheads, like we mentioned in that video, being able to close trails and trailheads and also edit the photos, edit the descriptions. And additionally, add more trails and trailheads that may be missing. So, we can really build an incredibly accurate data set for the state of Washington with all of our partnerships here. And we also manage a media library on here. And I'll run through and show you all of these things as well. But we manage media libraries, so our partners who are trained on this panel can upload photos, logos, icons, and then use those for their TED Talk posts in the future and for populating on trail and trailhead information. So really briefly, I'll show you an example. So if I go into map data and trails, if an admin has the permissions to edit trails and trailheads, they will see a table of trails like this. They can, with a click of a button, they can hit open or close to show that trail is being open or closed on the map. And then they can go into further editing tools and change the name, if there's a Forest Service ID, land manager, description, and it gives you a preview of what it will look like on the app as well. Then they can adjust the photo, maybe add a video. And the really cool thing to TREAD Map is that they can add a trail dispersion. So in that app demo video we had, if there's an incredibly popular trail, you can offer alternative trails and just fill out this form and it'll do that for you. For TRED Talk posts, we have various forms, so you can create an alert, announcement, event, or a recommendation, a list of suggested hikes, like the best 5 wildflower hikes in the springtime in the Methow. So you can fill out this form, see a preview, and it'll post that on the app. And then once you have announcements and events populated on the app through your account, you can also manage those. So you can unpublish them, so remove them from displaying on the app, and then you can delete them, revisit them next year if you have a post that you want to repost kind of on an annual basis. So there are a lot of really cool proprietary features on TRED Control. And if you have any questions about TRED Control later on, feel free to ask and we'll answer them. We can bring this back up as well.
Ryan, do you want to give a quick showing of the analytics there, just what we share back with our partners?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is an ongoing in development process, but we're starting to record and capture and share the metrics back with our partners. So on the top left, you see the total users, new users in July, broken out by iOS and Android. Then how many entities, land boundary user groups, businesses there are, broken out by category over in the center. And then how many posts there are, how many announcement posts, how many alerts, how many recommendations, and then how many public posts. Those are over on the right. Scrolling down on the left there, we're starting to see the trails getting ranked by click. So it looks like Gold Creek is the most clicked in July to date. And you could search up any trail to see how many clicks there are on that trail. And then there's going to be a variety of other metrics that are going to start populating here, including, the entity clicks. So we'll know who's clicking on what businesses or land managers, trailhead clicks, sponsorship clicks. All of that is going to be recorded and shared back. Going further down, this is breaking out where they're clicking in the app. So this is more so we can improve the app and understand how people are using it. On the bottom left there, users by country, that's sessions by country. So that's just, we need to change the name there. There's not that many users yet. And more interesting is users by zip code. And so we're going to start mapping that out at the end of the summer to see, where these users are coming from and where they're going. Over on the right there, affiliated, interested in. When someone onboards the app, we ask them which recreation groups they are affiliated with or interested in. And we're capturing those metrics as well and sharing them back with our partners. So it looks like Evergreen and the Mountaineers have a lot of members, Conservation Northwest too. So interesting metrics that are going to continue to evolve over time and get richer and richer. And we're working with our partners to develop new ideas back here too of what's going to help them make decisions and planning in the future. Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. You know, when someone downloads the app and they're asked, are you interested in or a member of any of these great nonprofit outdoor rec organizations? What we're really trying to do is we're trying to send membership to those groups and interest to those groups, because as a collective whole, we are protecting public lands for the good of public lands. So that's something that separates us from other apps as well.
One other question, Matt, that came up was potential partnership with the WTA. And I just wanted to take a moment to answer that as we're talking about partnerships. And we are working with WTA. They're interested in the app. And we are hopefully going to be partnering with them in the near future.
Absolutely. We're excited about that one for sure.
Yeah.
Marc, now's the time when I think you get to share your screen and kind of explain to us live how this fire stuff is working.
Yeah.
So I'll stop sharing so you can take over.
Great. All right, so this is the live app. It's open news, so when they first open it, you see all the alerts around the state. And like Ryan discussed in this video, this could be any type of alert, with snow levels, closures, opening. But what's cool is we can turn on and filter the alerts by the theme, and we're going to apply the fire theme here. So now you see the alert on the map just drop to that one, and then there's a couple of posts related to fire or smoke. So they're kind of, it filters based on fire or smoke. So I'll drill into that one there. That's the long press I just did, and you can see that's the Stamen fire there over by Chelan. And as these grow and change, like Matt alluded to, in TREAD control, you'll be able to dynamically open and close any recreation asset in TREAD control. And then you can also see the air quality in those areas. So we are going in the next build of the app. This will be coming on by default for August and September, as we're sure to have fires through the month. Yeah, that's the fire theme. And the other cool thing in this next build that's coming out that I just want to share with you, since I've got the screen up, is the suggestions here. So this is curated content by our partners where they can create lists of assets. So whether it's trails, trailheads, or businesses. So this is the top 3 spring wildfire hikes in the Methow Valley. And you could add a business in here or a partner in here. And it creates a really dynamic way for people to leverage existing content they have and share it with the public. So I clicked long pressed on that, and I instantly jumped to the Lewis Butte Trail as one of the top spring wildfire hikes. So I think these suggestions are a really dynamic way to engage with the app for our partners, and it totally sets us apart from any other app out there. So that's my little live demo. Any questions? Anything else you want me to show, guys?
Yeah, I think that's good for now. I know Matt has a few questions that we'll want to answer here. One thing I also want to mention is that this app is only going to get better and better, over the next year or so. It's every build there's something new, and it's a massive undertaking that we're attempting among many partners across the state, and many land managers, many DMOs, and all of you. And so that's the great thing about this. When you get this app, it's not something that's just going to be static. It's going to be improving over time. You should also know that the SWT, we're going to be launching our marketing campaign. And so when you're looking at the analytics and looking at the users, those numbers are going to go up significantly over the next month or two. So just a couple things I wanted to add there.
Yeah, and Mike, it's time for Q&A. So before we jump into that, I just want everybody to know that we have Amy Davis, and this is her email here. Amy keeps track of everything across the state of Washington. So if you need more information, if you want to be onboarded as a partner, anything that you want regarding this app, You send it to Amy and she will get you to the right spot. If you need us to come and do a presentation for your organization, we're happy to do that. Any of that stuff. So I just wanted to point that out before we move on to Q&A, but I think it's time.
Matthew?
Well, folks, thanks, panelists. That was very insightful. Let's start with a technical question from Aaron. And maybe Ryan or Matt or Mark, you can answer this. Aaron signed on to the app this morning, and I clicked every organization, but there wasn't an apply button, just a skip button. Were my interests in all of them recorded when I hit skip to continue moving forward with the app setup? And if you need to actually see that and ponder that a little closer, it's Aaron wrote that in the chat, not the Q&A.
Yeah, it should have recorded. I'm curious, so you did not see a button to move forward? I'm just trying to get a sense of where you're at here.
Maybe we should make Aaron give him the ability to speak for a second there, Matthew.
Sure. Go ahead, Aaron. You're unmuted.
All right, yeah, there was only the skip button. I strolled up and down to the top and the bottom trying to find some other button or way to progress. I tried to pull the screen down to refresh it, and I just couldn't get anything other than the skip button.
All right, sounds like you don't have the latest build, but we'll definitely check that out. How do you spell your first name? I'm actually looking to see if it got recorded here.
Aaron. Like Key and Peele.
Got it.
So in the latest build, there should be a skip button on the left on the bottom of the screen and a next button in green on just to the right of the skip button at the bottom of the screen. So you would select each of your partners that you're interested in and then hit next. So that's on every that's on all the new builds as of late. If that's not there, that must be an old build issue.
And it did record your setting. I'm looking in TREAD control. I pulled you up and it did record you there. So
awesome, cool. All right.
Thanks for bringing that up. We'll check it out, make sure, but it sounds like an old build.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
Aaron, I mean, you bring up a great point, is that, this is not an app that we said, hey, it's perfect and it's ready and download it now. This is an app that we all have to contribute to. Everybody's adding pictures and because it's so localized, and it's going to take a while, but it's creating some serious momentum right now, and it just gets better and better every day. The team behind it is fixing bugs and fixes that come up every day, but it takes a village. In this case, it takes a state. And 2 years from now, we'll all look back on this struggling time and laugh, but right now we're in it, and it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, thanks for showing me the fire thing. I did pull up and see that there were two alerts for fire. I didn't find the pinked out area that you put on the screen, but I did see the 2 alert locations, one downtown and then the one up that other highway. So thank you.
Mark, you're on mute there.
Yeah, this is just for TREAD. I think the alert for the Stamen fire was not in the center of the polygon because we put the alert up first. And then we didn't know where the exact fire was. So again, like Matt said, we're all learning here how we're going to manage this, and it's all real time. So yeah.
Mark, do you want to show them how to update their app?
It's just a refresh on the top right.
Yeah.
And in this next build, that's a great question, Matt. Alerts are going to be pushed. So we will push those out and if people say yes, they will get a notification of statewide alerts directly to their phone.
Great. Matthew?
Cool, and I want to go back to what Mat Lyons said about how it doesn't take it takes a whole state to kind of get feedback and to make this app better. And so I have a question from Dan Tucker. Outside of uploading content, is there anything else community members can do to help grow the app?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we're building right now is a toolkit for communities across the state. So we'll be using our DMO partners and chamber partners through State of Washington Tourism to get things that could be uploaded on the websites, social media content that you can copy and paste on your social media, QR codes for downloading the app. It would be amazing if, in every small business window, or for sure at every front desk of hotels and motels, that's where the first, if I'm traveling and I'm traveling someplace that I'm not familiar with, I go straight to the front desk and say, hey, do you know a great place to go mountain biking around here? And typically they're like, I don't know, but go to this bike shop or go ask so-and-so. Now it's just, here's a QR code for anything outside that you want to do. So if we can get those spread out across the state, and all of us are just spreading the word that this app is for good, it's for all, it's for everything, then I think that's how it's going to happen.
Very cool. Thanks, Matt. I have another question from Stephanie, kind of in relation to the fire overlay and some other helpful information that Marc talked about earlier. Are there plans for any type of other themes, alerts essentially, like flooding? Also, does the app show any road closures or implement any alerts from WSDOT?
Yeah, definitely. You can do the same thing that we showed with dispersion. You can add a same kind of alert for flooding or any sort of issue. And yeah, you can open and close roads as well. Yeah. So I think if you go into the app and search up Grove of Patriarchs, that's one that's closed because of flooding, and you'll see a dispersion and tell them where to go to from Grove of Patriarchs. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking through questions. I have actually, they're kind of this two questions, and this might be a little segue, but right now, is it only Washington that has this app, or will other states like Colorado, Oregon, California, will hikers be able to use the app? Say if they're on the Pacific Crest Trail, they can use the app the entire length of the trail up California, Oregon, and Washington?
So the answer is right now, we're making Washington State great, and we want it to be perfect for our state. And that's where the funding is, that's where the momentum is. And as soon as we have Washington State done, we're already getting inquiries from other states that are hearing about this and want to be next. And then the goal ultimately is to move it to other states so that no matter where you go, you're getting the same functionality. And quite honestly, we're helping every small community in every small state with the sustainable tourism through recreation and economic development, like protecting public lands. We want to do that. We're doing it right first, and then the goal is to expand.
Thank you, Matt. Any other questions or comments from the audience?
Rob asked, is there real-time data which informs the user which alternate trails are recommended, or is this historic information?
Those dispersions can be added in the moment, so they can be adjusted at any moment. Right now, we could do one right now and push it out live. So that is real time. Yep.
Yeah.
But what we're really looking for is the local authority, the local expert, to make that determination on this trail is overloved, and we'd love for you to try this trail instead. I live in the middle of the state. I don't know which trails on both sides of me I should be dispersing. I should not make that decision. The land manager should make that decision, or the local expert should make that decision. So that's what's going to take some time, but we can do it, like Marc said, today.
Right. Yeah, it's important to note because we know that land managers, especially during the summer, are very, very busy, right? And they're out in the field. They don't have time to do a lot of the stuff. And so one thing that we do, especially over this next winter, we'll be talking to land managers as much as we can, trying to get those, a lot of the alerts, those are kind of consistent throughout the summer. They know what trails are, trailheads are going to be full every weekend. They know what trailheads are going to be full every, even during the week. So we can get a lot of that information in there before the season even starts. And so that's a big part of it. Christian Martin asks, I'm curious how orgs that aren't land managers could best contribute to the app. I'm with the North Cascades Institute, nonprofit based in at NOCA, and we offer both paid and free natural history classes, hikes, canoes, tours, and also have a campus in the park, so where people can stay overnight. And so we offer the classes and accommodations, etc., and would love to let more people know about these options via TREAD.
It's fantastic. All you have to do is contact Amy Davis in that email. I also threw it in the chat, and tell her I want in, and we will find a date that works for all of us, and we will get you in, and you can start contributing right away. We need your expertise in your local area. I mean, we need it. We don't want to guess. We want you to tell everybody what you want them to know. So the more and more we can do that across the state, the better this is going to be for all.
Matthew, you want to keep going with the questions?
I'm checking the Q&A now. We answered Stephanie's, Henry's, and it looks like Dan has another question. It has to do with dispersion. By working to incorporate other busy trails. So that I will.
Do this.
I can unmute you, Dan. Do you want to ask that, your question?
I think what it's asking is, the dispersions work by incorporating other busy trails, so I will not get suggestions for alternates that are also full.
Right.
And, yeah, Matt, why don't you take that?
Yeah, we definitely do not want to take people from one busy trail and just throw them onto another busy trail. So that's why we need the local expert, the local knowledge, you know, that is either coming from our land managers themselves, or from, if they're, you know, they're busy, like Mike said, you know, and we can get it from locals that know, right? And so that's where we want to disperse people to where do you want them to be dispersed to? And then we disperse them there.
Good answer. Good question and good answer. Thanks, guys. Okay, folks, we have a few minutes left in the webinar. I'm checking the Q&A and chat. I don't see any other popping up on my screen, Mike.
Nope, not right now. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, panelists, Matt, Mark, Ryan, and Mike. And thank you, our audience. We will be back next month with the Tourism Skillshop on trails and passports. So stay tuned for that. That will be on August 25th at 10 o'clock. Hope to see you then, and take care for now.